conquering this fear. I'm busting through the ceiling. I'm following your lead. I'm following this feeling.
Hey guys, welcome back to Enlightened Turtle. It's your host Kev here. So this is just a quick video to let you know that I am going to be recording a video today. I know the last week hasn't been very consistent, especially with the content since that last waddle video. However, it took me a little bit longer to just cross-reference a few bits and bobs for this video and then the video that's going to be coming after it. So just a quick little update, I suppose. The video that I plan on recording later, probably be out tomorrow, hopefully be out tomorrow, is going to be relating to Adam and Eve and where humanity kind of came from. We look at a little bit into the genetics, into the mythology and creation stories, and yeah, a few other little bits and bobs. We'll be touching on like the book of Hammurabi, for example, some more LA Waddle, and how Adam ties into a lot of historical things, you know. There's a few bits and bobs there that I just need to go through again and just make sure I've typed it all out properly, because the last thing I want to do is like I did a couple of weeks ago. I didn't really cross-reference. Well, it's not that I didn't cross-reference, I didn't do a final proofread, and then I started recording, and I tell you what, I was tripping up my own tongue left, right and centre. Tripping over my own tongue, should I say. But then after that, the next video down the line, the next big video anyway, is going to be how the Druids tie into all this. Now, people might be thinking to themselves, bro, you were supposed to be doing Troy videos, like, and that's correcto. You are correct. Sorry, I've just got some change in my pocket here. Go in the shop. Like, it's so weird having change these days, isn't it? Because obviously we pay everything on our cards. You know, getting closer and closer to that digital currency. But yeah, like I was saying, the next video is going to be more of a druidic video, and I'll just put it like this: like food for thought for people to think about before that video comes along. I've had this debate a couple of times, and I mentioned it to Ross on a couple of his live streams when he was doing relatable videos, and spoke to other people about this. If Christianity was the Messiah, the Messianic Messiah, and Christ, who was Jesus, was the Messiah that was to come, the Christ, then surely there would have been at least a sect inside Judaism that was awaiting the prophet, that was awaiting the Messiah. Now there's a split within Judaism itself. You've got like the Orthodox Jews and then the unorthodox Jews. There's different sects of Jews, you know, in different countries and all that kind of stuff. But if there was a sect of the Jews that was aware of a coming Messiah, then surely there'd have been a branch that would have been preparing for the arrival of the Messiah. Now, I'm not saying that that's the Druids, but you know, not everybody, there's a lot of people saying that like the lost tribes are in England. Like, that's pretty common knowledge that now. Go and check out Yair Davidi. I've done 1 or 2 videos relating to him on my channel, and I've got to do a watch along video because he's done a recent video relating to dolmens, and he believes if you follow the dolmen, which is the megalithic structures that look like houses, you get windows in them and stuff like that, he believes that if you follow them from, well, the thing is with dolmens, right, he's saying from the Levant area, so you'd say western Syria, northern Israel, northwest Jordan, all this area, ancient Canaan. He believes that's where the lost tribes, we were the northern tribes, don't forget as well, because there was the 10 tribes, and then there was the 2 tribes, the 2 tribes of Judah and Benjamin, and then all the other ones, Jacob and all that kind of stuff. So he reckons that the 10 tribes came out of the north around where ancient Antioch and all that is. southern Turkey kisses that area, and then you follow that through Europe all the way west to Britain. He believes that's the route that they took. Now, the interesting thing is there's multiple migrations. There's multiple migrations west from the Levant. But one of the big things is at the minute, and I've always had this question, is what if they went from west to east? Now, obviously, people might be aware of Comion's Beaumont. Um, he believes that Jerusalem was Edinburgh, and obviously the word Bur meaning like a city or a state or a town, a populace even, and Eden being Eden, so Edinburgh, Edinburgh being the Garden of Eden kind of place there, you know. And there's people who believe that like Lincolnshire, they've got a cathedral. They believe like that might have been Antioch or Babylon, and then you've got uh, York might have been where the Tower of Babel was and all this kind of stuff. And it's deep stuff. I mean, I'm not saying it's true, and I might have lost it a little bit there, but I wouldn't dismiss it either. So I'm always kind of just laying the information out, laying it out, laying it out, laying it out, and then I kind of cherry pick what resonates best with me. Uh, but this whole Druids in the West. Now, I've made reference to the the Atlantic Celts, or like say the Celtiberians, the Albions, uh, the Berbers, the Guanches, the Iberian Celts, like I say, the Irish Celts, Scots Celts, Welsh Celts. They all go by different names, of course, but they go by different names to different people as well. So it's even more confusing. But if there was this sphere of influence in the left, on the left side of Europe, over in the west, and there was a migration out west, east, like we've touched on a previous video, and we will touch on more in this video, Abraham and Abraham's connection to the Abrahamic religions. I might be losing people here, but this is how many plates are spinning at the moment. So we've got this whole migration from the east to the west, which people are accepting as gospel, to say these days that the lost 10 tribes ended up in Britain, Britain, the land of the covenant and all this kind of mad stuff, and then expulsed out from there, went to Australia, Canada, America, and went around the world. And basically that was the 10 tribes going forth and multiplying further and further. But the Druids are in the west. Now, the oldest markings on stone in the west are of sun worship. Now, sun worship's found in the east as well. Now, if you put that together, then before this alleged migrations of around, say, 1500 BC, east to west, and then west to east just afterwards, as I'm hypothesizing, before all of that, there seems like there was a structure already in place. Now, was this structure people in the west migrating east before those in the east migrated west, before going west again, before they came east again? I know it sounds crazy, but we're dealing with thousands of years here, and this is under the guise of the Trojan War being in Britain. So obviously I'm confusing probably the life out of people right now, because it's not well structured. None of this stuff really is. That's why the videos are quite difficult to structure. So you've got to put all these different elements together, but it's got to be concise. You've got to kind of paint a picture with it. You can't just leave it all hanging there. But yeah, so long story short, so you've got these Druids over in the west. You've got these ancient peoples who were known as mystics, sages, enlightened folk, really, living off the land, but yet share many principles similar to Christianity, which we'll touch on in the video. And I can't help but wonder and ponder, I mentioned this to someone recently as well. I was like, could the Druids have been Christian? And you'd be like, well, no, because Christians couldn't have existed. Just circling back now to the start of the video, which is longer than I thought. People thought that Christianity only arrived with the arrival of Jesus. But as I've touched on, if Jesus was a coming Messiah, or at least a prophet, and accepted by even Islam, say, then surely there was people who were aware that Jesus was going to come at some point. And I know there's the whole, again, was he the Messiah, wasn't he the Messiah, is he just a prophet? That's where the Jews have a gripe with it. But it's like, surely there'd have been a sect, like I say, like when John the Baptist was preaching, he was preaching about the coming of Jesus. I mean, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure John and Jesus were related anyway, through the line of Solomon and David and all that. But so John was aware that Jesus was coming, so why wouldn't other people be aware? And again, you'd be like, was Jesus even real, or wasn't he real? Was the Bible all just like hocus pocus? But I don't know if Jesus was allegorical or legit, as a legit figure of like some kind of order. And the only way I can kind of rationalise it, not the only way, but the way I can kind of rationalise it at the moment is that if Jesus was part of an order of, say, the Druids, now it's known that he travels out west. Joseph of Arimathea is in the west. You've got all these arrows indicating to an earlier population in Britain being of the same worship that later led to Abraham allegedly coming out of the city of Ur over in Mesopotamia before he travelled to Egypt. So if Abraham was part of the oldest sect of worship, which is the Sun Cross, which is found right across Indo-Europe. It's found all over the world, to be honest, but I'm trying to limit my research to this Indo-European culture because there's so many different nuanced elements of the other cultures that I'll just never understand. Language, topography, history, you know, the kings, everything. I don't know what Asia, you know, I wasn't born in Asia, born in Europe, so the Indo-European thing is where I'm at. So yeah, I know I'm waffling along here, but so could there be an order in Britain that predated Christianity that was aware of what the teachings that would later be adopted, if you will, by Constantine and become the Christianity of the Roman Empire, which we know was an amalgamation of the older religious orders of Rome. You know, they found ways to stick Jupiter in there, they found ways to stick Neptune in there and all that. Just like the Greek Orthodox, and we will discuss the Kione Greek language and that's origins. We'll touch on it briefly in the next video. We've discussed it more in the Dorian videos, but that's the language that later became like the Coptic Greek language for writing all the Bibles and things like that. But that didn't arrive in the Asia Minor, the Aegean. It didn't arrive into that area until after the Doridic expansion. And as I'm hypothesizing, the Dorians were the same element, pretty much as the Phoenicians, and came from the west, as I said, after coming from the east. But could they have come from the west before that? So if the Garden of Eden was in the west and everyone exploded out from there and then went back, it's a legal minefield. There's a lot to discuss and a lot to get through. I do think we are making progress though, so I will say, sorry, this is a 14-minute long video now. It was only meant to be a 2-minute update, but yet I'm hoping to do the recording for that. I'm probably going to call it Adam and Eve, the Adam and Eve video, or the birth of humanity or something like that. So that'll be out hopefully in the next few days, and then over the next week I'll finish putting together the Druidic video and get that out there. So yeah, apologies for waffling. I'm going to go to the gym now, so have a good day, stay safe, one love, peace.
What they talk about What they talk about.